Hello everyone and welcome to a new IK video. This is Kincaid from 73 and it's been a while since I talked about the Rift Breaker, the Venom Rift Breaker. So we're gonna talk about it in this video and we're gonna take a look at the rankings. As you can see, I'm ranked first in the total damage ranking, but this is mainly because a lot of people didn't do their attacks yet, including Dragiola, who's above me with a lot of damage because he got a lot of skills that I don't have at the moment. But I'm looking cool right now, so this is why I decided to record it at this moment. When it comes to the highest damage ranking per hit, it's been dominated by all X49ers at the moment. You can see that Venge, Dragiola, Die Trying, this is me, Micro, and this guy here. We're all almost using the same march, and I talked about this march in a lot of my previous videos when I talked about the Venom. But in this one here, we're gonna talk about my second attack, which is a fire march that I've been using for a while with Theodora. I'm gonna talk about the skills, and I'm gonna talk about the synergy for the march as well. So this is the march that we have been using, Kublai, Alexander, Sign-Duke, Zenobia. As for the skill, I've pretty much covered it in a lot of my previous videos. And for the fire march, these are the immortals that I'm using. I'm using Trajan, Hippolyta, Empress Wu, and I'm using Theodora as a healer. If you don't have Theodora, you can use the boar guy here, which is Moctezuma. He is a really good healer, but the reason I'm not using him here because I've got Theodora, which is much better, but it still performs very good against the Venom Spider. So the skills that I'm using on Hippolyta, I'm using Anger and I'm using Victorious Pursuit. I tried to replace Victorious Pursuit with a skill such as Energy Burst, and it was still very good, but Victorious Pursuit dealt more damage. And I'm using Berserk as an aura, and of course with her exclusive artifact. I'm using Trajan, I'm using Spell Disintegrator to enable or to decrease the magical defense on the boss, so Empress Wu can deal much more damage. I'm using Weakness, of course, for the critical damage, and I'm using Adrenaline Rush because of the low energy regain. Well, actually, it's not low, but I'm using Adrenaline Rush to make sure that Trajan is casting his ultimate skill as much as possible. 124 is an insane amount of energy regain, by the way, and using Adrenaline Rush is gonna make it so much better for myself. For Empress Wu, I'm using Demonic Contract, I'm using Concentration, and of course, I'm using Poison Thorn, which is the main damage in the entire march. If we take a look at the report, you can see that Poison Thorn alone dealt almost 35 or 34 million damage, almost exactly as much as Imperial Fire. And of course, the critical damage is 100%. This is mainly I have a crit rate artifact for Empress Wu, and of course, combined with Trajan's skill and weakness, is gonna be insane. So these are the skills that I'm using on Empress Wu. As for Theodora, I'm using Spring of Life, and I'm using Vitality Touch, and I'm using Wine and Dine. Wine and Dine helps a lot to increase the damage for the immortals that are receiving heals. And since all the immortals are receiving damage at the same time, it means all of them will receive the heals. Hence, all of them will receive the damage increase by Wine and Dine. Also, the exclusive artifact for Theodora helps a lot because once an immortal drops below 65% HP, he will start receiving a lot more heals. If we take a look at the exclusive artifact effect, when the target's HP is less than 65% in Divine Gift, healing effect is increased by 100%. So instead of receiving 300% recovery rate, the recovery rate will be 600%. Now, I know Spring of Life, Vitality Touch, Demonic Contract are not available for the mid spenders, none less to say the low spenders. So in case you don't have any of these skills, I believe you can replace them by Shelter in place of Spring of Life. For Vitality Touch, you can replace it for Support or the other blue skill, which is, I believe it is called Healing. Let me check. This is Grace. Yeah, Grace and Support. I used to use Support. This is why I upgraded it for a couple of times before I unlocked Vitality Touch. All right. And as for Demonic Contract, you can use this skill here instead. And as for Trajan, you can replace Spell Disintegrator or something else like maybe lifelink or a skill such as absolute defense to make Trajan more tanky in front of the spider. Since he is the immortal that is receiving the normal attacks, you can see here the normal attack damage is 2.8 million damage. As for Victorious Pursuit, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, you can replace Victorious Pursuit for Energy Burst or any other skill that deals damage or helps Hippolyta to cast her skills as much as possible. So you can still use Adrenaline Rush on Hippolyta or Energy Burst, but since we're using Adrenaline Rush on Trajan, so I prefer to use Energy Burst on Hippolyta. Anyway, this will be all for this video, guys. Hopefully you learned something new about the Venom and it helps you to rank higher in the rankings. This will be all for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and have a wonderful day.